Hello and welcome to our lecture today. Today I'm gonna solve exercises related to break-even using the formula that we have proposed at last lecture. First of all, we need to define the variables that we're gonna use with our calculations. The selling price per unit will be represented by a P, which is the dollars per unit. Variable cost per unit, we will refer to it as small v. Fixed cost, FC, which is the fixed cost for the unit. Total variable cost will be referred to as TVC, total variable cost. Number of units produced and sold will be referred to as Q. Total sales revenues equal to TR. Total cost, TC. Net income, NI. You need to know that the total revenue, which is the amount of money that you get after you sell your product, is derived using this equation. It is the selling price per unit times the quantity that you will sell. So this is how we calculate the total revenue. Total cost, we already know how to do it. It is the fixed cost plus the variable cost. However, the total variable cost has an equation itself. It is the variable cost per unit times the quantity sold. So this is TVC, total variable cost. Now, the new term that we will address today is the net income. What is the income that I have after calculating my costs and after knowing what amount of money did I get after selling? So the net income is the total revenue minus total cost. We just put into this equation the values that I know for the total revenue and the total cost. So the net income equals PQ, which is the total revenue, minus the value of total cost, which is the fixed cost and the variable cost. And now I want to show you how do I derive the equation related to the break-even quantity. I know that at break-even I have no losses and no gain. So my net income is 0. So when I say net income equals to 0, this means that the total revenue equals to total cost. So I just put the equation related to total cost and to total revenue and equate them. So I have total revenue equals to PQ. It's equal to the fixed cost plus variable cost, which is the variable cost per unit times the quantity. I will say that since the total revenue and the total variable cost include a Q, I will get Q to one side. So I will say fixed cost equals to P times Q minus small v times Q. Then I will take Q into common and I'll open the bracket to have P minus small v. So if I want to get the value of Q alone, it's gonna be the fixed cost over P minus v. So you see, you don't have to memorize the equation related to the break-even quantity because you can derive it easily knowing that your net income is 0 and the net income is the total revenue minus the total cost. So you put this formula and you can derive the break-even quantity. Now I want to calculate the variable cost per unit at break-even. So when I say break-even, this means that net income equals to 0. This means that total revenue equal to total cost. I start by putting the equation for total revenue, which is price times quantity at break-even equals to the total cost, which is the fixed cost plus variable unit times the quantity at break-even. Then I will get the fixed cost to the other part of the inequality. So P times Q at break-even minus FC equals to small v times Q at break-even. We notice that we have Q at break-even at both sides, so we'll divide by Q at break-even. I will have P minus FC over QBE, and at the right side I only have V, so this is the equation related for the variable cost. V equals P minus FC over QBE. Again here, if I want to calculate the unit sales at break-even, what will be the selling price at break-even? So I'm calculating small p. So again, you will put in the equation for the net income, it is the total revenue minus total costs, and at break-even, net income equals to 0, so total revenue equals to total costs. So by putting the formulas again, P times Q at break-even, which is the total revenue, equals to the fixed cost plus variable cost per unit times quantity at break-even. You get the fixed cost to one side, as we did in the previous slide, and you divide by quantity at break-even again. But this time I'm interested in calculating P. So you will see that P equals V plus fixed cost over quantity at break-even. So basically these are the steps are similar. Now I want to calculate break-even revenues, not break-even quantity. This means that I want to calculate the total amount of money that I'm gonna get when I sell quantity at break-even multiplied by the price. So total revenue equals to the price per unit times the quantity that I'm gonna sell at break-even. Putting into the equation of break-even that we have concluded from the last part, which is FC over P minus V, then the total revenue will be P times FC over P minus V. So this is my break-even in dollars. Now you notice that I have in the equation of the break-even dollars, it is P times FC over P minus V. So I have the value of P at the numerator and the denominator. So I will cancel this P from both sides. This will give me the equation for the break-even in dollars will become FC over 1 minus V over P. Let's look at this exercise. Here we have a manufacturing company that works part-time making car assemblies. The annual fixed cost is $10,000. Direct labor is $3.5 per product, and material is $4.5 per product. The selling price will be $12.5 per assembly. Here in this exercise, I want to calculate the break-even in dollars and the break-even in units or in quantity. Let's look at the given. I have fixed cost of $10,000, unit price of $12.5. Now with respect to the unit variable cost, I don't have the total. I have it subdivided between labor cost of 3.5 and material cost per unit of 4.5. So I need to get the total variable cost per unit. So that's why I need to add $3.5 plus $4.5 to give me the total variable cost per unit of $8. Now I'm ready to put the values in my equation. I'm getting the break-even in dollars, so it is the fixed cost over 1 minus V over P. The fixed cost is 10,000 and the unit variable cost now is 8. P is 12.5. So the break-even in dollars is $27,777. Now part B, I need to get the break-even quantity in terms of units, not in terms of dollars. So the given is still the same. I will put it into the equation related to fixed cost over P minus V. The fixed cost is $10,000. Over P, which is the selling price of $12.5, minus the variable cost per unit, which is $8. So you will see that the quantity that has to be sold in order to break even to cover your costs is 2,222. So I can ask you for the quantity at break even or the break even dollars. Let's look at another example. Here we have a factory that produces casual wear. It has fixed costs of $25,000. Variable costs per unit are $50. So here I gave you the total variable cost per unit. I didn't specify that we have a part which is related to raw material, another part for labor. It is already given to you. If it wasn't, you will have to add the values as we did in the previous exercise. The selling price is $60, and I need to find the following: number of units to sell in order to cover costs, revenues to cover costs, profits if sales reach 20,000 units per year, and I'm asking what is the variable cost at which the annual profit equals to $25,000 at 20,000 units. Let's begin with the first part. By revising the given, I have the fixed cost of $25,000, variable cost of $50, and the selling price of $60. I need to calculate the number of units to sell in order to cover costs. So this is another meaning for the quantity at break-even. So I'm asking here to get the quantity of break-even, not the break-even in dollars, because I'm asking for the number of units to be sold and to cover my costs. So this is the quantity at break-even. So I just apply the formula for the quantity at break-even, which is the fixed cost over P minus V. So it is $25,000 over 60 minus 50. So it is 2,500 units. So I need to sell 2,500 units to break even. Now in part B, I want to calculate revenues to cover costs. So I'm interested in calculating the total revenue but at break even. So I will have to fill in with the quantity at break even that I got from the previous part. So total revenue to cover costs equal P, the unit price, times quantity at break even. The selling price is $60 and the quantity at break even is 2,500 that I got from part A. So the total revenue is $150,000. Now in part C, I'm interested in knowing the profits. What will be the profit if sales reach 20,000 units per year? So this is my Q. What will be the profit at this Q? So when I say profit, what is the profit? I mean that what will be the net income. So I right away put the equation for the net income in terms of the total revenue and total cost. And I start adding the values into the equation where I have P as 60, Q as 20,000 units, fixed cost of $25,000, V as $50, and Q is 20,000 units. So what will be the net income? The net income is $175,000. In part D, I'm asking what is the variable cost at which annual profit is $25,000 at 20,000 units. So I want to calculate the variable cost, knowing that the net income will be $25,000 and the quantity sold is 20,000 units. So I know that the net income is $25,000, so I put the equation related for the net income. Now I will fill in the values that I have. I know that the net income is 25,000 equals to P of 60, Q of 20,000, FC of $25,000, plus V, the value that I know that I don't know, multiplied by the quantity of 20,000 units. So the value of V will be $57.5 per unit.